It means that people are engaged. It means that maybe they're taking notes. It means that they want to come to the meeting, because how many of us are sick and tired of meetings that aren't productive? Well, guess what? You and I have a part in that, especially when we're the facilitator or when we have a portion on the agenda. It's our part. We need to stand up, speak up, and shut up. That's our job. You with me on that? All right. Mark Sanborn, who's an expert in leadership, also said that your leadership ability will improve directly and immediately as you become a better speaker. Do I hear a hoo-hoo? There you go. Followers judge a leader's effectiveness by how well he or she communicates in front of a group. Discover what is unique about each person and capitalize on it. When you are building a successful team, you need to be focused on what is the person already doing well. And how can you bring out more of that to get that individual to shine, to sparkle, to glow? Because it's contagious. And it brings out more of the best in each other. That's what happens is you have this individual collective that come together, and now they're called a team. I wanted to take a quick survey, so I blanked out the screen. That way you're not looking at the next area. And then I'm going to step between the screen. Now this is how you properly do this. You don't do this improperly. You don't want to be walking in or standing into your screen. Have you seen speakers like this? It's a no-no. And then they don't even realize that they're doing it. So blank the screen. Step in front of the projector. Move to the other side of the room. They've had some attention. You feel the love over there, right? Now they want some love over here. Then as you pass by the projector, then you can gradually click it. For instance, when I teach creating a positive work environment, overcoming negativity, these are the top 10 things that employees want in a workplace. And why people come to work for the county is because of the benefits, the security, the family, making a difference. Why people leave organizations in general, according to the American Management Association, is because of bad managers. And what people are working for today is not the almighty paycheck, according to Harvard psychologist David McClellan. There is a list of 7. Number 7 on the list is money. Number 1 is verbal appreciation. Atta girl, atta boy. Number 2 is appreciation in writing. So make sure to acknowledge your team and acknowledge those who manage above you as well. Sometimes it gets lonely at the top. Men think that when women stand up to speak, we are going to ramble. It's because sometimes, darn it, we do. It's true. So, men, here's how you can support us. What's the bottom line? Or you can ask us, what's your point? Ladies, write this down. If you're speaking to men folk, then you can say, here's my point. And you better be able to nail it in the next 20 words. Catch yourself, cut it off, get back to the point. That's one of the tips for staying on point. You got it? Visuals make a presentation 43% more persuasive, 87% more comprehensible, and the bottom line, with increasing retention, 14 to 38%. How many of you are sitting there thinking, you know, I could probably do better in this area now? Sure, because you know what? It also shortens the meeting time. Ooh. But I would say in a 50-minute meeting, by showing visuals, you can trim easily 22 minutes off. What could you do with 22 more minutes? Maybe have lunch. If you want to build energy before those afternoon meetings, especially right after lunch, keep the lights up in the room, crank up some quick, fast instrumental jazz, get them going, bring some life into the meeting before you even start. You will be, already the cadence has been set. If you play Largo music, Baroque, classical music, you'll put people to sleep. That has its place. Where there's a lot of conflict or hostility, you put that on. With children in your office, those of you working with children, it calms them down because it has the same heartbeat, 60 to 80 beats per minute. The smaller the audience, the more energy you need to bring to it. The larger the audience, the more you need to play with the audience because they'll give you energy back. Have fun with it. People want to be played with. They do. It's like, make me laugh. Let me have some fun with that. The larger the audience, the larger the graphics need to be. Often the larger the audience, the longer the laughs are. Hopefully you're getting them. And you need to pause for those and not step on the laughter because laughter is a connector. And the more serious your subject, the more you have got to sprinkle some humor in it. A couple of the other questions then. What about staying on point? Billboard, if you want to make a couple of notes. So now that you've got the outline from your, on an index card, say 5 by 7 or 4 by 6, you would write 3 words. And it's 1 word on each line as if they are bullet points. Billboarding is a concept that comes from acting to help people remember their lines. You can now walk into a meeting with only billboard on your white screen in your mind and have just those 3 key points, and you'll be able to stand up and deliver concisely. Index cards and slides as a reminders. You know, you can use your slides to boost along or to have visual aids that people need to see. If you are giving whatever is on your slides to your audience as their handouts, they do not need to be present at the meeting. You can email them that. What you want the meeting to do is to engage. Engage, have conversation, brainstorm, work out issues, dialogue, come to decisions so that people have their input, then there's more accountability, responsibility, and ownership of that. So bringing that then. Appropriate use of humor, we heard a lot of it yesterday. The only inappropriate use is when you are poking fun at your audience and if anyone is hurt. So be careful with sarcasm. You have a question?
Question on the slide you just had a minute ago. How much information on a PowerPoint?
Oh, thank you. So he's asking how much information on a PowerPoint. There is a rule of thumb from Harvard as well as Wharton School in Pennsylvania that says it's a 6 by 6 rule. No more than 6 lines of type, top to bottom, and on each line no more than 6 words per line. It's called the 6 by 6 rule. Today we've modified it to a 5 by 7. So no more than 5 lines of type, no more than 7 words per line. If you have more than that, break it up and cut down each individual thought and create them into their own slide. What people can't handle is overload. Break it down, keep it simple. That's a great question. So 5 by 7 would be ideal. Graphics in the upper left-hand corner is also the best thing to do. So have some fun with humor because as Dwight Eisenhower said it himself, a sense of humor is part of the art of leadership and getting along with people of getting things done. Humor brings people together. Find ways that you can do that because we need to laugh. We need to laugh a lot. How much do you think that the average 3 or 4-year-old laughs today? Yeah, according to psychologists, I think, who have no life, they counted 500 times a day that these 4 and 5-year-olds would laugh. How much do you think that adults like you and I laugh in the course of a day? Yeah, not enough. Yeah. It's 10 to 12 times. What's really sad, it's not even a real life. It's a good one, Chief. Bring it out. So what about lecterns? This is called a lectern. It is on a podium. It goes back to the Greek root of it. Pod you stand on. Lectern as in lecture. Whenever you can, get away from this. My style is heart to heart. I love to be on the floor. Even when I'm speaking to 5,000 people in the Salt Palace Arena following Thurl Bailey at a conference, I'm on the floor. Granted, he has 2 feet over me. I'm on the floor. I want to be with people. So this is the lectern. It has its proper place in formal meetings. That's what I'm going to say about that. Otherwise, it separates you from your audience. It has Robert's Rules of Order, parliamentary procedure. Yes, it needs to be led with this and with a gavel. We don't really do that in the county. The 8th floor may for their meetings. So podiums, be careful about that. Risers are typically podiums. Microphones, I am wearing a fairly invisible lavalier microphone, and it's fed through my sweater around to the back so that you are not seeing cords. If you never ever need to speak with one of these, be careful of the cord hanging out because you could grab it and it would make quite a scene and damage the equipment. You've got the best person back here, Tony, handling everything for you. And slides are to support your presentation, not be the presentation. And my tip here is what happens if technology fails you? What happens if? And she was masterful in how she handled that. Would you agree? So let's give it up for Linda. You got it. You got it. You need to be able to give your complete presentation without the slides. You never know when anything's going to happen. Today I brought 3 different backups for the system, plus all the cables that I needed, plus backups for those, plus a flash stick if we needed to switch from Mac over onto PC, plus 2 different remotes. Have backups to your backups. Because if something's going to happen, it will. It will. Just be prepared for it. What about photos then? This is Spanky. Check out the heart on her neck from the San Diego Wild Animal Park. So what about photos then? Keep them large. Same thing with any of your graphics. The larger the audience, the larger the graphic needs to be, and on the upper left-hand side or left-hand side is going to be the best. Use graphics, have fun with transitions. This is a before from one of my clients, SDC Technologies in Irvine. And I said, just by tweaking that, it will be much more visible and professional for your audience to see. We also saw Yogi using great slides yesterday with his quotations right across it. So here's what happens. Subliminally, visually, it's anchored in our head about the Blue Angels. Then we capture the concept. Linguistics need to have the words on there. Visual, linguistic. Then he would also read it or allude to it. Often he paraphrased, which goes back to linguistic as well, yet creating a conversation and not reading the slide. So it was very brilliant in how he did that. Questions and answers? I think that the best time to handle these is how they flow in your presentation. If you can, during the presentation, when people are hot on that particular area before it moves on. How do you do this in your meeting? When you get to the end of that particular segment in the meeting, call for questions right there. Get someone timing it where you've got 3 minutes, you've got a timer, 3 minutes to handle Q&A at this time. At 3 minutes, bingo. A bell is sounded and you move on. It could be that after your entire presentation, then you can open up for more Q&A there too. Make sure to monitor your time though, because what people don't like are presentations going over time. Now, what do you do to practice? The best answer to controlling any type of nervousness is preparation and rehearsal. One of the best places that I have practiced for the past 25 years is at Toastmasters. Raise your hand if you're a Toastmaster or ever been one, ever been a member. You got it. Because this is a great place, it's a safe environment to practice your presentation.